Hey there folks, this is GreenyXI, welcoming you right back to Let's Play Danganronpa. This is episode 45. In the last episode, we made it to a point in the case where they're trying to explain how Mukuro's dead body made it from... It is Mukuro, isn't it? Okay. The 16 students' dead body made it from the biolab to the garden where they found her. And they're talking about the tarp, they're talking about the inconsistency with the amount of lights on in the morgue, which is supposed to be one light per dead person, but there's an inconsistency. Let's see how it goes. The inconsistency Kyoko's talking about is the lights.
What are you talking about? What about the lights?
Like I said before, the biolab also acts as a morgue. And as part of that, a giant refrigerator was installed in there. That's where everyone who's died is stored.
And it was set up so that when a slot had a body in it, a blue light would turn on.
In other words, if the blue light is on, that means there's a body in that slot.
But I counted up the number of blue lights that were on, including the one Mukuro was in. And there were only 9.
Why does that matter? You gotta give me the bite-sized version here, man.
9 lights doesn't make sense. Number of lights that should be on is 10.
I got it! 10 of the lights should have been on. Any other number is incredibly suspicious.
Suspicious? Why? That's simple. Just recall who's died here so far, and it should become clear.
That's right, that's the key to solving this mystery. Saka died first. Junko was second. Leon was third. Chihiro. Mondo was 5th. Taka was 6th, and Hifumi was 7th. Celeste was 8th. Sakura was 9th. And victim number 10 was Mukuro.
So 10 people in all?
That's right. Any other number should make you immediately suspicious. But according to the lights in the biolab, only 9 people were being stored there.
You're saying a dead body just up and disappeared?
I got it! The Mastermind destroyed one of the bodies to get rid of evidence.
But if they wanted to do that, they would have destroyed Mukuro's body, since they actually killed her. And yet, her body was left alone.
Then, whose body disappeared?
It may very well be that none of them disappeared.
But if that's true, then why doesn't the body count match?
Including Monokuma's executions, there have apparently been 10 deaths, but there were only 9 bodies. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I'm completely lost. How can the number of victims be less than the number of murders?
The reason there are less bodies than murders, the explanation for more murders than victims. Why is that? What would it take for that to make sense? It means that the same person was killed twice.
I got it! What about if the same person was killed twice?
Huh? Killed twice?
Officially, 10 murders have been committed so far, but one of the victims may have been murdered, and then murdered again.
Murdered and murdered again?
If that's the case, there could have been 10 killings, but still only 9 victims, right?
Technically, you're right, I guess. But still, something like that
Could easily have happened. No, it is what happened.
Sounds like you're already convinced. Then can you tell us who was killed twice?
It was Mukuro, of course. Before she was killed as Mukuro Ikusaba, she was killed as someone else.
And that's why the body had to be stored in the biolab until the moment we found it in the garden.
No, that's crazy talk. She was killed as someone else? Come on! Besides, who could that someone else even have been?
All you have to do is look at those bodily injuries of hers, and that will become obvious.
Nothing's gonna become obvious, because Kyoko's totally delusional. is this someone else that Mukuro was killed as? Was it Sayaka Maizono? Junko Enoshima? Leon Kuwata? Chihiro Fujisaki? Mando Owada? Kiyotaka Ishimaru? Hifumi Yamada? Celestia Lu... whatever? Or maybe... Sakura Ogami? No. There's no way anyone was murdered!
No, that's wrong! Junko, wasn't her fatal injury pretty similar to Mukuro's?
What do you mean?
Well, remember what happened to her? She was impaled by a bunch of spears, all over her body.
And Mukuro died from a number of wounds across her body. When you compare that to the stab wounds Junko suffered...
And the similarities match?
Yes, and those are the only fatal injuries that match up. That explains why those two bodies are actually one and the same.
So let me see if I have this straight. Junko, or someone going by that name, was stabbed to death with multiple spears. Then her body was kept in the biolab for however long before being dragged out again. Only this time, it was presented as the corpse of one Mukuro Ikusaba.
It all matches up, right? Those wounds Junko suffered could easily be these same injuries.
It's really true? Mukuro and Junko are the same person? Wait, so then... what does it all mean?
It means that there haven't been 10 victims, but 9, which also means that among the people we thought were dead, one is still alive.
And that's the true identity of the Mastermind?
Who is it? Who's behind all this?
We already know the answer to that. It's Mukuro. She's still alive. She took Junko's body and made it look like she was the one who died. So Mukuro is still alive. She's gotta be. Total silence? Then I must be right. I'm right, aren't I?
Mukuro? Alive? The one that's still alive is Mukuro? But can we really believe that? No, there's no way. There's no way Mukuro Kusaba is still alive.
The body you found in the garden. It wasn't Mukuro.
No, that's wrong. No, the body we found in the garden was Mukuro. That's one thing we can be sure of. The body's appearance and measurements are consistent with her records. Right, Kyoko?
She was 5 foot 6 inches tall and weighed 97 pounds. Her vitals were 31, 21, 32. Everything in her profile is consistent with that corpse.
And then there's the matter of the Fenrir tattoo. So there's no question it's her.
But if Mukuro's not the Mastermind, then who's actually still alive?
Someone's made it look like they died, but they're actually still alive. There's only one person it could be. Okay. Who's the person? Yeah, Junko.
Here's my answer. Junko is still alive. It's the only possibility.
Are you sure about that?
Huh?
I admit, since Mukuro is undoubtedly dead, Junko does seem to be the only other explanation. But we saw her get impaled. She died right before our very eyes. If Junko were still alive, the death we saw would had to have been some kind of charade. But you yourself confirmed she was dead, did you not?
Now that you mention it. I gently placed my hand on Junko's lifeless body. I touched her wrist to check for a pulse, like they do in movies and stuff, but she really is dead. There wasn't anything else to say. She was gone. I did check, absolutely, and I can say for sure.
She was dead. There's no question. Junko was dead.
So, the idea that she's still alive.
It must be wrong.
Then you're withdrawing your previous statement?
I know you gave it your best shot, but too bad. I guess your conclusion was a dud. Too bad, too bad.
This case hasn't been decided just yet.
Oh?
You haven't given up already, have you, Makoto?
No, of course not. There's no way I'd give up that easy.
That's all well and good, but how do you intend to solve the problem standing in your way? Junko absolutely died. Mukuro absolutely died.
Then both of them are dead, right? There can't be any kind of survivor story.
I think we need to look at this from the opposite direction.
Huh? The opposite direction?
Let's assume Junko is still alive. If so, how could she have survived?
How could Junko have survived? I checked her. She was dead, I'm sure of it. But still, if she were alive somehow, could it be that Junko's not the one that died? It wasn't Junko, but someone else entirely? Maybe she used some sort of trick. Here we go. We got ourselves another hangman. Let's have a look. I suppose this one's a bit trickier, but with the letters that they've given, it's not too bad to me. Come on, there it is. And an E. And a D. Hello? There. Replace.
Now I understand. That's it. What if she switched places with someone else?
Switch places?
That's right. Before the spears could kill her, she got someone to take her place. Specifically, Mukuro Ikusaba.
Then that would make it Mukuro's corpse that showed up later.
Which is why the body's height and weight and everything match Mukuro's profile, right?
I don't know anything about this switching places thing, but that had to be Junko who got stabbed to death, right?
Yeah, you're saying they switched? When could they even have done that? Right when she was about to die? Like she used some kind of ninja replacement technique?
Good point. There's just no way they could have switched like that. So maybe the whole idea is wrong.
There has to be some way. Need to figure out how to explain how they could have switched. Well, they switched at the very beginning.
I got it! The two of them may have switched places from the very beginning.
What? From the beginning?
Yes, from the moment we first met. If that's when they switched, then they wouldn't have had to switch at the moment of death, right? After all, the one we saw at that point would have already been Mukuro.
Hold on. So, you're saying the Junko we first met was actually Mukuro all along?
Then we'd already met her?
I had, like, a normal conversation with her.
When we first met, none of us knew who anyone else was. So Mukuro could have simply told us her name was Junko, and we never would have known the difference. That would easily allow the two of them to switch places from the very beginning.
Wait, but Mukuro had a tattoo on the back of her hand, right? Junko never had any tattoo like that, did she?
She could have hidden it with foundation or something like that. If she did, it likely melted away in the explosion, exposing the tattoo after the body was extinguished. Plus, there were the fake nails found on the hands of Mukuro's body. They were the same fake red nails she was wearing when we all met for the first time.
But if she really did use foundation...
Correct. Even if there was no tattoo on her hand, I couldn't say for certain it wasn't Mukuro. So I'm glad nobody noticed that glaring hole when we were trying to figure out who attacked Makoto. But too bad for you, Monokuma. You can't deny it anymore.
Wait, so this whole thing was a setup from the very beginning?
If that's true, it was quite an elaborate plan to be sure, making it look like Mukuro was Junko.
The reason such an elaborate plan was possible is because the two of them were working together.
So Mukuro, the ultimate despair, teamed up with someone like her. In other words, it would be fair to say that Junko herself was also the ultimate despair.
What's wrong? Lost the will to fight back?
I think he's just afraid.
Afraid? What's that mean, afraid? Fear is only possible where hope is possible. I only have despair, so fear is an alien concept to me.
And why haven't you been saying anything?
Because it's a bunch of nonsense. Junko's my secret identity? As if.
Then why did you try and protect Junko's real identity?
I tried to protect her identity? When did I do that?
So he still refuses to admit it, but he can try to deceive us all he wants, it doesn't matter, because I've already figured it out. He tried to hide Junko's identity, and not just once, but twice. First time was during our latest investigation. And if we check out the interview DVD, this is one of the tougher parts, I thought, of the whole case.
I got it! While I was in the AV room, watching the DVD of our interviews with the headmaster.
It wasn't just the monitor, the DVD player itself had apparently turned off, which of course meant that the DVD wasn't playing anymore. What the heck just happened? Oopsie, looks like it broke, out of service. Just so happened to break just now. Now then, when, doesn't matter. Failure can strike anyway, anytime. That's what failure is, right?
You made sure I couldn't finish watching the video. And the reason you did that is because you didn't want me to see the real Junko, did you?
Oh, yeah! If everyone was in that video, of course Junko would have had to show up.
And if Makoto saw the real Junko, it would have been totally obvious that the Junko we met was an imposter.
That whole power outage thing was just a fluke!
No, it wasn't a fluke. The Mastermind definitely orchestrated that power outage. That's not the only time they tried to hide Junko's identity. The Mastermind tried to cover up one other piece of evidence. I've got to reveal that.
Are you sure about this? You're getting all riled up! That's impossible! That's impossible!
This should prove it. The video wasn't the only thing you tried to cover up. You did the same thing with this group photo.
Uh-oh.
I noticed it just a little while ago, when we were all comparing the photos we'd gotten. In all the photos, there's a certain similarity, an unusual circumstance.
What's so unusual about them?
The unusual circumstance common to all these pictures. The unusual circumstance is Junko's face.
I got it! Junko's face. The one thing common to every single photo is that you can't see her face. It's hard to believe her face would just happen to be hidden in every single picture, don't you think? And on top of that, in this photo you can see that Mukuro is clearly visible. So in other words, at that point, the two of them hadn't switched yet. With all that in mind, there's no doubt that the girl whose face is hidden here is the real Junko, which is why you had to have pictures that didn't show her face. Because if we could have seen her face, then it would have clearly revealed that the Junko in the pictures wasn't the Junko that we knew.
Xanadu!
I believe everything Makoto said is true. Junko and Mukuro switched places before we met either of them.
So she killed Mukuro, who had taken her place, making it look like she'd died. And the real Junko is still alive.
And she's the one behind this whole murderous situation. This killing game. She's the true mastermind and the ultimate despair.
Xanadu times 2!
With this, the identity and the crimes of the Mastermind have been exposed.
No! Wait! Hold on!
Don't bother trying to deny it. There's no more room for debate. You don't have anywhere left to run. I'll prove everything. Right now!
Yay, comic book time! Okay, so on page 1, shows everyone showing up at the very start, and then meeting up with... Situa should be an obvious picture, I'm sure. Right. I'm trying to... This Junko's face, but I do want to see if this one a bit more glaringly obvious. No, it doesn't look like it. So, let's grab it, chuck it in there. This one down. Baya shows Junko being killed off, but it's actually the Ultimate Soldier. I always forget her name. I don't know why. She's just so in the background that I don't remember. Act 3. Let's have a little look. This is actually her moving the body after Junko died. So if we have a little look by here, let's have a look. We want to see her being pulled out of a freezer. I think it's that picture, not on the very end, but the one a bit further up. I think it's meant to be this one, being pulled out of a trolley, being taken out of the morgue, unwrapped and stuff like that. So there we go. What's happening by here then? We have got her, the mascot, attacking Makoto by here. So if we show off the combat knife, because this is what she stole at the time. And then he wakes up and sees him, so this is the part where Kyoko interrupted and protected him, right? I think it's that one. I want to make sure first. It could be this one. Or it could be this one. I mean, they're both so similar. We'll see at the end of it all, but they look too similar. I don't know what each picture's representing. Is it one that shows the bed specifically? No. I reckon it's this one. I guess we'll find out in a sec. Right, okay. So in this part, he notices her. If he notices her. Yeah, he notices her because she's shouting in the doorway from there, I would think. So, I think this one might be the killer actually trying to escape. Do you reckon? Yeah, and that's him trying to run, innit? Probably. I hope so. Then the body's there where he's put it in the flower room. Taking off the mask, and then... yeah, he's taking off the mask, so... There we go, he's holding it. Looks about right to me. And then Act 5. Toko, or Gensai Jack, goes along and tries to unwrap it while the killer is watching on the monitors in the data center. So, I think this one might be... That's at the scene of the crime, and it's before the bomb has gone off, so it must be this one. And then... Jinsei Jack pulls off the mask, and kaboom! She probably timed it in time for it all to happen. Look at Jinsei Jack going flying. I still find that funny. Anyway, the body after. Let's get going.
Here's exactly what happened. We met the ultimate fashionista, Junko Enoshima, right after we all arrived here. But that wasn't the real Junko. The girl we saw before us was actually the 16th student who had taken Junko's place. And that girl's name was Mukuro Ikusawa. But it wasn't long before she died at the hands of Monokuma. In other words, the Mastermind, Junko Enoshima. Her body was kept in a biolab, which had been converted into a morgue until Junko decided to put her body to use. Junko dragged the body out of the biolab, using the tarp to carry her to the garden. She fabricated the murder to try and frame Kyoko, who proved to be one big thorn in her side. Meanwhile, she wanted us all to think Mukuro was still alive and hiding somewhere inside the school. So she put on a mask and then attacked me. After making sure I'd gotten a good look at the mask, she left the room. Then she put the same mask on Mukuro's body. This was all to make us think the person who attacked me and the corpse were one and the same. She wanted us to believe the murder had only recently taken place. Finally, by strapping a bomb to the body, she was able to destroy any remaining evidence. She needed to hide the body's true identity. She had to make sure we didn't find out it was actually the same person we'd met in the beginning. This is the truth behind Mukuro's murder, and the one who carried it all out is the true mastermind, the one controlling Monokuma. The real Junko Enoshima! That's the whole story behind this incident. Well, what do you have to say to that?
What? Are you broken again?
You can't get out of this, so don't even try.
Come on! It's time you finally revealed yourself!
It's not like you're an endangered species or something. How long do you plan to keep hiding?
Give it up, Junko. The game's over.
Over? Did you really think the story would end once we reached the climax of the case? Wrong! There's still plenty more to go!
We have been waiting so very long for peasants like you to appear. If you swear your fealty to us, we will reward you with half of the entire world. We've even drawn up the deed already. We will grant you honor, status, and some of our home cooking. Have you made your choice? Will you serve under us?
Oh, did you think I was being serious? Sorry, I was just messing with you. It's been so long since I've had an audience. Even I'm not sure what kind of role I'm supposed to play.
This is the Mastermind? She's The real Junko Enoshima?
Anyway, looks like I've finally been set free. Having to play Monokuma all the time, day after day. It was like I was stuck in purgatory. Or like a slow suicide. I get bored so easy, you know?
Your face!
Huh? What about my face? What's wrong with my beautiful face? People have told me I'm cuter than 100 chihuahuas combined.
I feel like this isn't the first time I've seen you.
No, I do remember seeing it. I'm sure I've seen it too somewhere. It was definitely before I got to the school. It was actually... well, yeah, before arriving at school.
I got it! That's right! It was before I ever came to this school. I remember seeing a magazine cover. And you were on it!
Wow, you have a pretty good memory. I guess that's why you've made it this far, huh?
So I was right. Then what you told me in the main hall when this all began...
I've seen it on tons of magazine covers, but I feel like that doesn't quite match up to reality. Oh, you're talking about my cover photos and junk? Well, of course, those are totally photoshopped. Photoshop? Yeah, you know, edited to hell and back with like computers and junk. Oh, so they aren't real.
Sometimes a little lie is necessary to keep things moving along. Wouldn't you agree?
That explains why she didn't quite seem the same. Because she was a different person all along.
I'm me. And Mukuro is Mukuro. She tried her best. But there's just no way she could have passed as the ultimate fashionista. Two people can never become one as long as the walls of mind and body exist. Not even if they're twins.
Twins!
I know. It's such a cliche, right? I'm almost embarrassed to admit it. So basically, Mukuro and I had your stereotypical twin relationship. The older sister, tough and proud. That was Mukuro. The younger sister, smart and cute. That was...
Me! Junko fucking Enoshima! And together, we were the Despair Sisters, aka the Ultimate Despair!
Whoa! She's a totally different person now!
Like I said, I get bored easy as hell! I even get fucking bored with myself! But if you're twins, why do you have different last names? Ugh, that again? You have any idea how many times people ask me that shit? Maybe it's new to your dumb ass, but it bores me to tears. Answering the same questions over and over? Just make up whatever answer you want. I don't give a shit. The truth's fucking lame anyway.
But if she was your twin, that means you killed your own sister?
And for reasons deeper and darker than the ocean. Ha! As if.
Well, I suppose I'd better explain. For my plan to work, someone had to be able to control the killing game from behind the scenes. The so-called Mastermind had to operate Monokuma, keep an eye on everyone, things like that. But after looking at the situation, I determined it would be impossible for Mukuro to perform such duties. Because naturally, she turned out to be the letdown of the family, leaving me behind to run off and join some band of mercenaries. Such a disappointment. So, I decided to play the role of director and have her join the rest of you in your school life. I could have let her work alongside me, but she would have been useless to me that way. Besides, 15 students seemed like a solid number to start with. Of course, the fact that she was the ultimate soldier posed something of a problem. She had what I call the 3 atrocities. Atrociously rank, atrociously filthy, atrociously repulsive. It was atrociously clear just how out of touch she was with the rest of society. Meanwhile, my ultimate fashionista status has an undeniable appeal that I didn't want to go to waste.
And that's why you switched identities?
Sadly, her inability to match my personality was even greater than I'd calculated. It was a lost cause. She was nothing more than a bit player, an extra unworthy of lines. Being the utter disappointment that she was, anyone would have expected her to get killed off right away, which is precisely why I killed her. To meet everyone's expectations.
That can't be your only reason, can it?
Well, no, of course not. I also did it to avoid becoming bored.
I've never been a stickler for following a plan to the letter, you know?
Okie doke. I'm going to end the episode off here. A bit of a weird place to end it, I know, but we'll go with it. This has been GreenyXI. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in a bit when we carry on with trial number 6, or case number 6. And things are going to get more explained and everything. It won't completely wrap up the story of Danganronpa because there's so much more to the franchise and everything. Not just the 2 games, there's loads more even than that. But anyway, thanks again for watching, folks. See you again in a bit.